Guys, we have a special guest here on our podcast. It's Mr. Killinger. I just call him J-Dog now. I just call him Kill.
Mr. Killinger sounds like some sort of English hitman.
Yeah, he was an English hitman.
Like if you're waiting, like
he's my English teacher. Before we go anywhere, that's what I should say. In high school, what year did you teach me?
Your sophomore year.
Holy shit, I was just a little baby. My sophomore year, he taught me. We bonded. He helped me cheat on tests. It was fucking crazy. Yeah, he would slip me. He would slip me answers.
Yeah, I was gonna say helping cheat doesn't quite go far enough. Like I would just give you the answers.
He'd give me the answers. Right. He'd fill it all out for me.
No, he wouldn't.
No. I'm just trying to get him fired. Joe, cut out the part where we say he didn't and just make it seem like he's a bad man. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Kill's in LA. He's visiting. It's really exciting. So I want to bring him by, see if he has any high school memories we can unleash.
I've got all kinds of high school memories. I feel like most of my good stories about you now are post high school, just in terms of.
There's a good story you have now?
The crazy. Yeah, your life is insane right now. Every time I hang out with you, it's like you're getting mobbed by people.
High school is so interesting.
I know, but high school, you were just like...
Yeah, oh, bro, did we talk about this on the last podcast? I took him to Chief Keef's house. I was doing this, I did a photo shoot for my friend, Shelby and Sandy. They have a new brand coming out. And I took Killinger to Chief Keef's house, which is fucking really weird. It was first of all... I asked him to do it, and I was surprised he said yes. I was like, "You mind coming to
Killinger or Chief Keef?"
A little bit of both. So it was a photo shoot at Chief Keef's house. I've never met him before.
Right.
And Chief Keef's a rapper, for those of you who don't know. So I was kind of nervous. I was like, "Oh man, what if I'm not tough enough to be hanging out with him? I look like a little bitch." And I asked Killinger, I was like, "Can you come with me to Chief Keef's house just for protection, just so I feel safe?" But no, we pull up to the house. Chief Keef was super nice.
Totally nice.
So nice. Right off the gate. He was really nice. He knew that we were both from Chicago, so he said Chicago boys, which is really funny. Then I was reading through the comments of the picture of me and him, and one of the comments was two very different parts of Chicago. It was really funny. But it was really funny because Chief Keef's friend was there also, and while I was taking pictures with Chief Keef, Killinger was talking up one of his friends, and it was the fucking funniest thing. It was
yeah, it wasn't smooth. My wife and I both were trying to keep a conversation going, and it was just not we didn't have anything to talk about. We kept trying. I was like, so are you also from Chicago? He's like, no, I'm from LA. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
We're regrouping. We're like, oh, and are you also a rapper? He's like, no. We're like, all right, we're out of questions.
It was
we don't
dude.
know.
It was the way I described it. It was exactly like watching a Jason Bateman movie where Jason Bateman has to smuggle drugs across from Mexico because his boss is making him, and now he's stuck talking to the cartel, and he doesn't know how to make conversation even though he's supposed to be the cool guy. That's how Killinger felt in that moment.
Well, the setup was weird too because again, it was Chief Keef's first time meeting you, and you were like, hey, I'm David. This is my English teacher. It's a really fucked up way to introduce.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a winning situation, but it turned out pretty fucking great. So I was very, very excited. Were you nervous? I feel like you don't get nervous.
I wouldn't say I was nervous. It was unusual.
On our way over there, I was just fucking blasting all of Chief Keef's music, and I was like, "You don't know this one?" And I was like, "Bitches love so," and Killinger's like, "No, not familiar with this one."
Jason, I was trying to pretend that it was because I quit teaching, and so the kids aren't keeping me hip anymore. I'm like, "No, David, I'm sure I would have known the song, because kids told me stuff." Yeah. And he was like, "No, dude, this definitely came out when you were still a teacher." I was like, "Okay, but I have no idea."
I was like, "Oh, this was definitely popping when you were a teacher. This is what everybody was listening to."
Did other teachers talk shit about David?
Yeah, for sure.
No, did they?
Oh, 100%.
Which one?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, they're still teaching. You can't say.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be like, oh, this one name drop.
Wait, but I know one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right now. We'll take it out. Well, let's change his name to Mr. Marco.
Okay.
Mr. Marco, what would he say?
So, Mr. Marco, I would be sitting in the teacher's workroom, and he would come up to me and be like, what the fuck is up with this David kid? I swear to God.
Bullshit.
Swear to God.
Bullshit.
Because they knew that you and I don't know if they saw us in the hallways talking or what, but
they knew that we were friends.
Other teachers, I would say 2 to 3 other teachers would come up to me between your junior and senior year. After I taught you, swear to God, hand to God, they would come up to me and be like, Killinger, what the fuck do I do with this David kid? He doesn't do a goddamn thing.
What? I wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't like you were misbehaving, but you wouldn't do the work.
Really?
And it was like a defiance thing too. I could have said hey, make a 4-minute video with your friends about English, and you'd be like, fuck that, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of that. You never did the stuff that we asked you to.
Well, the things I didn't do, I just didn't seem like a point to. I've never felt it necessary to do anything that wasn't gonna further my whatever I wanted to do. So like that's why I would always copy and cheat, because I knew that I never wanted to have anything to do with trigonometry or chemistry. So I'm like, I can totally cheat in this class and it won't affect the rest of my life at all.
And I honestly feel like that's part of why you and I got along so well, because I'm the exact opposite, but I admire that sort of mindset.
Oh.
I am a rule follower, and I will fucking, if I want to do something, I will read 15 books about it before I even try it. I will, like, if anybody in any position of authority is like, tell me that, like, do this or XYZ, I'm like, yes, sir, I'll,
See,
of course. I don't question whether or not it's good for, or whether it's useful for me, and you are the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And I was like, this kid...
I'm
like,
the type of guy that goes to somebody like you who's read 15 books about something
Right.
and then just ask him and just gets an answer like a lot quicker.
Right, which has led to some pretty funny like FaceTime calls over the last few years, where it's like if it's like 1 a.m. and you'll FaceTime me like, Killinger, I don't know about this, and
Can you give me more specifics on how he was shit talking me?
yeah, because it was always about. I mean, so they would definitely talk shit about
Mr.
you.
Marco and I, just to
Yes.
be fair, we were very polar opposites. He was
Totally.
like the artsy, like loves literature, loves character work. Like I don't know how to explain. How do you explain him?
He and I even had like really different teaching styles, in that I loved like talking about personal stuff like with kids, just like to connect with them, and he was like all business. He just like wanted to do the schoolwork, because when he was a student, he's like, I fucking hated when teachers would like try to get to be my friend. Like I just wanted to do the work. And so that was his teaching style. He was
wow.
like, sit down, let's fucking get through this. Like we can have fun while we're doing it, but not but that's going to be the
interesting.
plan.
Yeah, so me and him were totally opposite.
Totally.
And I remember one day in class, I've said this on the podcast, I don't remember how exactly he said it because I don't remember it as well, but he was I don't know if this was him, but he was like, you're not funny, David. Or something like that. Like it was to those words, which is like the worst thing to tell. Like yeah. He was like, you're not funny, David. Like no one here is laughing. No one thinks you're funny. Yeah. That's what he said to me. Yeah. And I remember he said this in front of the class. Like in front of everybody. Like and he said it like and I was very like in school I became very cautious about like being obnoxious and blurting things out. Like there were definitely like some kids that would like blurt more things out, but like I was very careful. Like I was like, I'm gonna try to keep to myself and only like hit when the funny moments are really there. Like I'm really not going to try to talk unless it's like really important. Because I've learned it, because so many of my other friends have been embarrassed by teachers in that same regard. Like so many of my friends were obnoxious and the teacher was like, you're being annoying. Everyone finds you annoying right now. And like that taught me a lesson. I was like, fuck, I got to like hold back. And this time I was talking to somebody, like my neighbor in my chair, and Mr. Marco was like setting up the class or whatever. And like I was just talking, it was just me and this person like laughing to each other. And that's when he called me out. And he was like, you're not funny. And it wasn't even a comment I made to the entire class. Right. I was just having a conversation with this one person.
It was something you did earlier that he was ready to pounce on.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck. And dude, when a teacher calls you out like that in the fucking middle of the class, that's like traumatizing. It's like something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And I do. But what else did he say?
So, I mean, that was the thing, was that like he didn't, the crazy thing is he didn't like dislike you.
No
it
way.
Was, I swear
know
to,
he,
so, okay.
Dude, he
hang
fucking
on.
disliked me. I know.
Let me actually change how I phrase that, because he definitely didn't like you. But he also like recognized the thing that annoyed him about you was that like he saw potential.
No, he didn't.
I swear to God.
Dude, don't
no,
fucking
dude.
do that.
No, his exact words. Again, like when he would come up to me and be like, "What the fuck is up with Dobrik?" He would be like, "He won't do the things I assign, and it pisses me off because he's not stupid." Like if he was stupid, like I've taught stupid kids, I can deal with stupid, but he's not stupid and he's not doing the work, and that's what pissed him off about you. And I mean, I had no advice. I'm like, well, yeah, he didn't do the work for me either, but I just didn't care.
That would annoy me too the most.
For sure.
If I
it's
saw
like wasted potential.
Yeah, if you saw somebody that like was good and they weren't, then why the fuck am I here?
Exactly.
Why am I trying? That would drive me nuts.
Yeah. I don't know, but also to be fair, I was never like, fuck you, teacher, I'm not doing this work.
No, that was never your attitude. It was just like you just didn't.
It was like if you were like, okay guys, read pages 3 to 10 right now and highlight your favorite parts. Like then I would obviously not be reading and highlighting my favorite parts. I'd be I'd put my phone right in my book and I just like go through it. Like but like if it was like an essay, like I would still get I'd do the essay.
Right.
I wouldn't like come in and be like, fuck you, I'm not turning it in. I turned in everything. Sure. But it was like whether or not it was my work is the question. or whether or not like I don't know. If it was a big semester project, I would always do it.
I never cheated.
No.
Actually, it wasn't that easy to cheat when I went to school, I think.
Yeah.
I cheated one time in 4th grade. We had like
fourth grade.
In 4th grade, we had little. Actually, I'm taking this back too because now I'm remembering like copying people's math homework in the hallway in high school as well. But the one thing that like stopped me from cheating, like in class, was this girl across like my little table, we were working on a math test, and if you got all 4 math problems right, then you would go to the board and show everybody how you did them. And I cheated on like one of the 4 questions and got that right. And then when after the teacher graded it, she was like, "All right, Jeff got them all right. So Jeff, go up to the board and show how you did it." And I was on like,
"Oh my god!"
I was on question 3, like, "Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god!" Like at the board, like I don't fucking remember. I didn't do this. Like,
fuck, that would.
Get
that was
busted?
it. No, I just like.
You just said you forgot.
I think she could tell I was like panicking, and she was like, "Oh, he just doesn't remember." But no, it was definitely because I
Bro,
cheated.
that would make me so fucking stressed out.
No,
Was there ever any sexual tension between teachers?
No, I will say there wasn't any when I was teaching.
How about
But
between the students and the teachers?
no, Jesus Christ.
Okay, Jesus. Okay, come on.
But
happened?
For further background though, like I attended Vernon Hills High School. Like I was a student there as
okay.
well.
Right.
And when I was a student, it was a brand new high school. Like they had just opened up. And so they needed to fill this whole building with teachers. And so every person they hired was like a brand new, fresh out of college teacher. And so it was like the building was run by 22 to 24-year-olds.
Whoa.
And so like the stories that I heard.
That's why I like it so much.
The stories that I heard from teachers who were like, in their 40s when I started working there, who were in their 20s when I was a student, were like, "Oh my God, this place was fucking lawless. Like it was just crazy. We were all getting hammered."
It's like
every
Woodstock.
night." Yeah, totally.
Wow.
They were like all rolling in hungover all the time because it was seriously
Vernon Hills?
like 50 to 100 23-year-old teachers. Like they're just
wow, dude,
Yeah.
that sounds like a dream.
getting ripped. Right, totally. I'm like, man, I wish I was a little older. Could have started here when things were crazy.